basically Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone,
Mm-hmm.
and they had this character called Francis Duttweiler, but he was known as Frankie Duttweiler, and he was a bit of a bully. And it basically, if they called him Francis, he'd go, "Nobody calls me Francis," and I'll never forget that. And I can imagine maybe you don't like being called
I
Francis. I
always
don't know.
liked the
What do you
name
think?
Francis, and what I like about the name Francis is only the spelling changes from a man to a woman. Otherwise, it remains the same. You know.
Oh, so what has it become Frances rather than
Yeah,
Francis?
yeah. The female is with an E, and the male is with an I.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's interesting. I had two aunties. My grandma's sister, Frances Pierce. No, Francis Cox, because she married what was his name? Uncle. Oh, I can't remember. Fucking hell, a long time ago. Uncle Bill, William Cox, and my auntie Frances Pierce married my nan's brother, grandma's brother, Leonard, and he is the male of grandma who was Leonora, but
Oh,
they
okay.
fucked her name up. They didn't spell her name right in the registry, so she became Lenora. But
Oh, okay.
still, it's the same thing. Still, as far as I'm concerned, she's a lion. Um, but yeah, so that is this sigil thing I just made. I sort of made it last night, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a slightly bit different. But I like it because it's got that bit in the middle as well, which is a bit different. So
I'll show you my because I've seen a lot of your cards that you've made, and just because I have them out not right now because it is the end of 49 days, 7 weeks, 7 days for 7 weeks of
oh,
something
seven
called,
seven.
yeah, 49. It's called the counting of the Omer, and it's
Oh,
a kabbalistic thing. But because it just finished today is finishing. Today is the very last day, which connects to the
is
Shekinah.
that because
What?
it's the 21? The 21, the seven, three
Mm,
sevens is the
No,
21 as well.
no, it's 7 weeks. So there's 7 days in each week, so it's 7 times 7, 49. And
Right.
they're called the gates of understanding. Basically,
Mm,
in the olden days, they there was a period of time, a season when the barley was ripe, but the wheat wasn't. And so until they could get the wheat, they would eat the barley. And it was one of the things that they would offer to the temple. The after the destruction of the second temple in what 70 something, I guess it was, when the Romans destroyed the temple. Before then, people had to give um, gifts or sacrifice, or a lamb or pigeons or whatever. And a lot of the time, what they gave was this wheat, loaves of bread or barley before the wheat was
right.
ripe. And so it's this period of time between Passover and Shavuot. Passover being kind of the celebration of um, the parting of the sea and leading the people out of Egypt back to the Holy Land, and then this is the
The
49
Exodus.
days until Moses got to Mount Sinai and was handed the 10 Commandments. There you go. But I'll show
Mm.
you what I have because it's kind of nice. Hold on.
Welcome,
So
welcome. For you.
I have
Oh,
49 cards, you see? And this is
yeah.
today's
Are
card.
you, you made these?
I made these, yeah. These are
Oh,
watercolors. And this is today's card, which is the attribute of Malkut within Malkut, which is 10 within
hang
10.
on. One sec. One sec. Train just going past. Right, go on.
All right, so
Try it again. I
this is the
couldn't hear
card
you.
for the day. It's a
Right.
10-pointed star within a 10-pointed star. So that is the attribute of Malkut within Malkut, which is like
Right.
sovereignty within sovereignty or action within an action. This would be
Hey,
what?
I've got a synchronicity because it just on that thing it said that Sandalphon was Malkuth on the
Yes,
Kabbalah.
yes.
On the
In fact,
ah,
okay, so you're correct
wow.
there. There's basically there's actually like five what they call worlds, which is olam, or another word would be dimensions. And
Right, okay.
so the first dimension is the monad, that's compared to like the Trinity, and that's not revealed. We don't see that. But the second one is like the mental, the mind, and it is
Right,
the dimension, the mental dimension, and it is guided by archangels. And so for each of those sephirot, there are 10 sephirot or emanations, and Sandalphon would be the archangel um, with the assignment of guiding Malkut, which is the 10th um, the 10th Sephiroth. Whereas the other one that you named, his brother, Metatron, would be for the unrevealed, for the Keter, the crown.
right.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll
So
just I'll show you all the cards because there's more than
please
40. There's 50 of them, and so you can stop me at every point, any point. Just say halt, and I will stop. Just to show you them.
I 49 as well. Has that there's that film, The 49 Steps.
I don't know that.
You've not heard of it? It's oh god, there's bloody weird synchronicity going on here today. So the 49 Steps is I think it's a Hitchcock film,
Could
and
be.
it's a classic film. And the remake of it starred Robert Powell, who played Jesus of Nazareth. And earlier on, the last couple of days, I think it was yesterday, um, some that the Conquest of Paradise by Vangelis come up, and then it's called the 12th Hour or 12 o'clock by Vangelis, and it's
Hmm.
like the theme tune for Jesus of Nazareth, the movie. And the video of it is sort of black and white of Jesus walking with the cross and being crucified, and then coming back down again, and it's like it's such a powerful piece of
Imagery.
filmmaking.
Yeah.
And then Robert Powell played the hero of the 49 Steps in the remake, which is a weird synchronicity. So most people.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Lest we forget, I mean, the people who, one, Jesus was Jewish. Two, a lot of people think that he was a Kabbalist, that he was a mystic, basically, studied Jewish mysticism. So he would have been all up in the
Well,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, well, there is also this. See, it is a fable, but I think I believe in it. That so I don't know if you've seen me go banging on about paradise, was where I live. I
Oh, yeah.
landed, I
Went with
joined
the
the
Magdalene,
paradise
right?
with Magdalene and Mother Mary, but he also they he used to come to England a lot because he was a metallurgist, a metal trader, and here in Cornwall you have the tin, which was like you couldn't have the Bronze Age without the tin. So they had to. It was the only place you could get tin, apart from somewhere across the other side of the Black Sea. So I think it was just easier for them to get the tin from Cornwall Rome or wherever they were
Yeah,
having the
could very
bonding
well be.
stuff.
I mean, the trading or bartering or changing, yeah, the trading of all sorts of minerals, but also art got through there. That was just huge, huge way
Yeah,
back
well,
when, like the Phoenicians with the Etruscans
well
and the
yeah,
Greeks, you know.
well, there's this school of thought which I am every day more and more believing to be true because of the synchronicities and the fact that I actually come up with this sort of theory a few years ago, and then once I found out about Commons Beaumont, who was a prolific author, but he was also the editor of the Daily Mail. So he wasn't just some crackpot. He was
Mhm,
establishment journalist. But then he went against the establishment because of what I guess he sort of channeled it, but he done the hard graft work,
mhm.
archaeology, and
Right,
tuning in frequency.
right.
Because where I live is in Somerset in England, and even that the name Somerset is not Somerset, it's Dorset, and I come up with all these theories. I don't know how I'll come up with them, but so it just seems obvious to me. So I feel like Dorset, which is where Portland is, which is an island, and you get Portland cement from, but there's always so much like really ancient history in Portland. I believe I think no, I believe that there would have been a procession of like royal family, kings and queens. Potentially, they would have sailed across from I don't know where in France, if I'm honest, but somewhere in Normandy that would line up with Portland on the as you go across, and there'd be a procession. um, this is just purely my how what I've come up with. No one else has ever said
Conjecture,
this, and
sure.
most people would say I'm completely crackers for saying it.
No.
But I believe that there was like a procession that went from Portland up through, maybe past Stonehenge, maybe past Avebury, because it's all on this sort of arc, and then they come to Somerset to Paradise and to the golf course, which will be the Pathfinder, the guy that was in the thing earlier. He's my mate who I do music and the Pathfinders our other
Mhm,
channel with. So I realised I somehow when I was a kid, I the village we lived in is called Barrow, and my dad told me a barrow was a burial mound, and that stuck in my head, and I just think, well, barrows like a bit like
mhm,
barrow. So forever I just thought barrow means barrow, and then when I started um getting into the Holy Grail story, the Arimathea, the legend. Well, it's funnily enough, the Onion Chief were doing a live the other day. I had gone to my van where I've got all my stuff, and I picked up about 5 or 6 different things in the bag, and everything's weirdly so proven to me, my psychic, that everything Chief started talking about, I brought back something from my van which was connected with it. So this book is brilliant. It's called The Glastonbury Legends.
okay.
And so it says in 63 AD, St. Joseph of Arimathea landed in England, bringing within the Holy Grail. Sacred pilot had given to him. At the third Glastonbury tour, that's not actually true either. He's got this wrong. There's a hill called Wearial Hill, where they basically said they called it Wearial Hill because when they got there, they were very tired after a long journey. But it was near enough to Glastonbury Tor. He thrust the staff into the ground, where it immediately took root for safekeeping. Joseph buried the Holy Grail nearby. Now it says it was here too that King Arthur and his knights pursued the search for the Grail. For Glastonbury is none other than Arthur's Avalon, 12 miles from the strong hill of Camelot at Cadbury Hill. And so we went to Cadbury Camp, which is near Bristol. near the garden, or Gordano, which Commons Beaumont says Gordano. You've got East, West, Clapton, and Walton, wall town, the wall around the garden. He's saying. So that's Cadbury Camp, and this one's Cadbury Hill. Now, once again, it is all legends, but it all fits in. And
Mm-hmm.
so in this book, it's a brilliant book. It's got some pictures here actually. So because Glastonbury was a major pilgrimage, and an abbey and everything. So there's Cadbury Castle, that one there, and it's just
Nice.
like Cadbury Camp. It's a huge
But
hill fort.
Glastonbury is still a pilgrimage kind of place, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And the funny thing is
Like they
that
have music festivals there, right? Glastonbury
yeah,
is famous for the music festivals.
that's right. And actually, it shouldn't be called Glastonbury because this is the tradition. Joseph, being a metal trader, had strong links with the Mendip Hills, and the Mendip Hills were rich in lead, but the lead only in the Mendip. So lead was worth so much money because it was 30% silver. When you smelt the lead down, you could extract the silver from it. So not only did you have lead, but you'd get silver. And he came. Basically at that time the king was called, I think it's called King Inna. I want to say Inna. He
Mm-hmm.
gave Joseph a hide of 100 acres.
Uh-oh. We froze for a second.
The very first church um, dedicated to Jesus, or to, we'll call it Christian. I don't think it was actually necessarily known as Christian until a lot later. But the very first ever church made by the apostles, and there's another connection for me, weirdly, although it's not really a connection, it's a bit tenuous, but Saint Philip, he was the apostle. He was one of the apostles and the disciples that came to England with Joseph and Mary Magdalene.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the very first church or place of worship, the veneration of Jesus, was in Pilton.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Wattle and Daub church. Well, the actual festival is in Pilton. It was called the Pilton Pop Festival,
Mm.
but then they made it the Glastonbury Festival Performing Arts because Glastonbury has a bigger pool than Pilton.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an awesome link there with all that.
Mm.
It might not, it might all be wrong. It might all be wrong for all we know, but because of the stuff I've sort of channeled and realised, and like I am looking into this Joseph of Arimathea tradition, sojourning in paradise. I I was really taken in by it, and I started looking into it, and I noticed. I don't know how I noticed. But so I don't know if you've ever seen my
That's good
family
sneeze.
Bible.
What? You
That's all
notice
right.
what? No,
Sneezing on the
I'm good.
truth
I'm
there.
good. I'm good. Thanks.
Um, I had my family Bible turn up from 1830 something. It's called John. It was called John Brown's Bible. I think he was a Methodist, but it's like a Harry Potter spell book. It's about that thick. It's all gilded. It's got the clasps. It's an absolutely beautiful book, and that turned up to me. It'd been to America, all the way to America. Somehow, my dad's cousin, Paddy, Auntie Paddy, her name was Patricia, but she was my granddad's sister's daughter. So it's a Lock, which is
Mm-hmm.
my surname, Lock Family Bible, and basically, somehow it got to her. And then my Auntie Paddy said that she felt it should come back to the Lock family because she wasn't actually a Lock. So she sent it to my dad. and I was obviously living with my dad. I started looking at. So I love this Bible, and it's absolutely amazing. It's got like a dictionary in the back of what all the names in the Bible mean. So
Oh, lovely.
um, all all the fills, like, so Philistine, right? It doesn't. It basically means, I might be wrong, but I'm not far off. It was searchers, rappers, because they used to. I think they used to mummify their people, and I want to say rollers and rappers. I don't really know. I don't know exactly what it means in correlation, but that is what it means. So Philadelphia, and there's a whole list of these Phils. Phil
Hmm.
meaning the love of, like my name Philip is horses, a lover of horses.
I'm trying
Philadelphia
to think
means the
of
love
like
of,
philosophy. It's the love of Sophia, the love of wisdom. So I think
ooh,
philia comes from Greek, philia, and so
yeah,
the Greeks divided love into 7 different categories, and philia was one of them. And if I'm not
right, yeah,
mistaken, it's love like a friendship love of.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's this guy on YouTube. I came across him by accident. I haven't really spent a lot of time in his thing, but his name was Shaggy Philathea, which I can't remember what it means. So I went into a thing, but he got a bit pissy with me because I said about I, what I do on my channel, and he was like, "Oh, it's very passe. You shouldn't come into my channel." Because someone asked me what my channel was about, and I said, and he was like, "Oh," so I thought, "Oh, you know." But what he did educate me in was the or the filler bit doesn't actually mean love of. It's more like adoration, like you said, like
Could be,
uh,
yeah.
the love of friends,
It's
rather than
one
a
of
love.
one of the 7 types. Like if you look up the 7 types of Greek love, philia, philia, will be one of them. And I think it's like the friendship one.
And also, it's quite interesting because I've been following this guy called Thomas Sheridan for years, and he saw my video I did about Barrow, the golf course,
Hmm.
the Barrows, and he even said he thinks I'm right, and I was like, yes, because he's like a hero of mine. Um, he said that the proper name for the Druids was the Philae. I think it's File, which is
Philia.
similar to the
In
Philae,
Latin, that
yeah.
would be philia. Yeah.
Or yeah, so it's similar to me being Philly, because in another one of my names I made up. Because my friend said to me, well, me and my friend Richard, who was in there earlier, weirdly, the Pathfinders, he's like the voice of reason in the Pathfinders because he's behind the camera. And we started a band years ago, like a punk band called the Filthy Rich. So Phil is in filthy. So
Yeah.
I'm Philip Philistine or Philistine or there's a guy. Have you heard of Gaia TV?
Of what
Gaia,
TV?
the Gaia channel. It's quite
No.
like
I don't even own a TV, to be honest.
yeah. It's not on TV. It's on the internet. But the
Oh,
Gaia
okay.
channel is all. Hello, Lady Skylove. Welcome, welcome.
Is
So
Lady Sky here? Hello, dear.
the Gaia channel, I think, is a little bit has been hijacked a bit. I
Mm,
don't really trust the Gaia channel, if I'm honest. But
okay.
it's still the same. There's a guy on the Gaia channel called William Henry. He's quite a well-known historian. He's on a lot of stuff. I tell you what he's on, and that's just why one of the reasons why I don't really go with the whole Gaia, and he's on Ancient Aliens. You know that? Have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
So Ancient Aliens. Oh, very well, thank you, Lady Sky. Ancient Aliens is a really, really big, massive. It's on the History Channel in America, and it's all over the world. It's like a. They basically talk about all the different things where you see aliens or how they could have sort of proven alien stuff.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's not really my cup of tea. It's a little bit American. No, no offense to you two, but I always say like the Americans like make everything like da 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 da.
Oh
Whereas
yeah,
the
yeah,
English
yeah.
are,
No, for real,
yeah,
for real. What was I gonna
English are a little
say?
bit more reserved.
I was gonna say, are you going away, Lady Sky? I was gonna ask you how you were doing, and then we'll hear
So
from.
I think this William Henry guy,
Ah,
I had a really bizarre experience at my dad's house. I was sat on the toilet, where I do a lot of my best thinking, and I was listening to his one of his what do you call it? Um, I can't bloody think, presentations about Scion, um,
oh Zion.
the yeah, but Scion with an S, not Z.
Right, right.
Um, which is once again, this sort of makes me really makes me think that all this stuff is from originally from Britain, and it was all moved to the Holy Lands. Because Sion is Sean in Welsh, and
Mm,
Sean is John.
mm.
So the Welsh, all the hieroglyphs. There's a guy I can remember his name, Ross Broadstock, and I actually bought a Welsh English dictionary. You can decode all the hieroglyphics in Welsh. All the hieroglyphics it will come back to Welsh, and then like they say Hebrew, but it's not Hebrew, is it? Isn't it Aramaic, the old Hebrew?
Yes.
So that Welsh basically, it's almost carbon copy of Welsh. So it,
Well,
there's
languages progress alongside each other. You know what I mean? So, uh, the English that they were speaking at the time they were speaking Aramaic was a different English than they're speaking now, and so yeah, it would naturally have more connection.
not only that. So Welsh, I think the original form of what we call Welsh, like it's the
Mhm.
same as Cornish, the same as Brittany in northwest France, was called Brythonic. So that was like pre-Roman, Romano, Celt. I mean, even the word Celt is not. It's only it was a Victorianized thing to like
And
group the
when
whole
we
thing
start to
together.
talk about Gaelic, where does that come into the mix?
Gales. So the Gales. Um, See, there's this thing, this RH negative, rhesus negative thing.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm rhesus
it's most,
negative.
yeah. Well, I thought you might be because you're of Gale origin, same as me. My sister got me to do this bloody ancestry thing, and I'm a little bit on the fence with ancestry things because it says I'm 45% English, but then all that is English. Now there is no such thing as English.
Right,
So
it's all a mix of everything else, right?
yeah, so English is either German or Germanic, or it's
Right.
I've got no, I've got no Germanic apparently within my DNA because I'm English, but I'm 25% Scottish, and I know that for a fact because my grandmother was
Yeah.
Scottish, and then I'm I think it's 8% Irish. Well, Irish and Scottish is pretty much the same thing, and then I think I must be 12% Danish, Norwegian. So
As
I'm a
as
mixture
a
of
lot of England is, right?
exactly. And Ireland, in all honesty, Ireland, Dublin was a Viking.
Sure. I mean, that's where
Um,
that's where like the red hair and the blue eyes come from, the fair complected people.
there you go. But also that they say the people from no, let me get this right. The Basque country in
Mhm.
north of Spain, which is on the
Mhm.
border of France
Sure.
and along the Pyrenees, and also I went to school when I was at school. I used to go on a Spanish exchange twice, and we went to a place called Asturias, which is on the north coast. But the whole of the north of Spain, above the Picos de Europa, which is a mountain range, is
Catalan.
just like Wales. It's all very mountainy, green. mining,
Hmm.
very big mine community. They've got their own bagpipes. They've got their own tartan, and it's basically called Galicia,
Hmm.
which means Gaelic.
I was going to
And
say the Celts. I mean, they were around in Roman times. Even, they were in Italy, the Celts. They
yeah,
fought big battles with the Romans, the Celts, in Italy, in this territory. Because it wasn't Italy. I mean,
yeah.
it's only been Italy since 1840 something. But, this
So
territory,
that was like
the Celts were
the
definitely
pre
there.
Etruscans, the
What?
Etruscans.
Yeah.
So that's they before the Etruscans, because this is the whole can of worms about it all. Because they'll tell you that the Celts came from like Hungary or that sort of part of Europe, but I can't believe how they're not. Oh, maybe they were originally before, because obviously there's this whole thing where
But the
the
same thing with the Etruscans. They say that Etruscans were from Turkey, that they like their language is like Indian from India. It's like, no, just because they can't figure it out. The latest is that the Etruscans were actually like pretty indigenous. And they have found, I'm trying to think, in Liguria, which is one of the provinces
yeah,
kind of closest to France. um, they have found caves and things where some of the earliest like human prototypes were in these
yeah,
caves. So there
yeah,
have been
yeah. I've
human
actually
beings
been
on
to
this
some of
land
these.
for forever. And yeah, of
Yeah,
course everybody else came,
I've,
especially if they were like trading and fighting and bringing things in with the Greeks and the Phoenicians and the Etruscans, and they're sending people all over the place. I mean, these people got around. Marco
well,
Polo
that's the thing.
walked to China. He walked
Well,
to China from Italy.
the whole thing about the Phoenicians and everything,
Yeah.
also, because like so when I was basically when I was sort of on this start of learning about the Joseph story, because the one thing that just kind of baffles me is that where I live in Somerset, it is predominantly a tourist place, yeah.
Hmm.
And Glastonbury is a very big tourist place,
Hmm.
and it has the whole of the Arthurian mythos and all that within it,
Legends. Yeah, yeah.
and and all that, yeah. But where I live, where I come from, or Paradise, there's a little plaque. I've done a few videos. There's a plaque about it at the place where the village of the hamlet of Paradise was, and that's about it. There's nothing. And I think to myself, and I'm sort of thinking, why? Because where I live, Burnham on Sea, is a tourist holiday place. Why haven't they pushed the possibly two biggest stories in the world ever, Jesus and King Arthur? Nothing. There's nothing, and it's
Well,
almost like it's been covered up on purpose.
this is a beautiful question. It really is. And because it has within it the implication, and it is a correct one as far as I'm concerned, that who controls the narrative, and why, is very,
Mm.
very relevant,
Yeah,
and couldn't be more relevant than in the case of the Romans and the Phoenicians, Carthage, because the Punic Wars, they fought a ton of wars, the Romans with the Phoenicians. And those battles, uh, once those battles were a done and said thing, they like canceled the Phoenicians from history, like completely, like saying, oh, they had no culture, they had no, they
yeah.
were just these little bit
Well,
towns, they were
yeah.
nothing.
Well,
It's like
this is
instead they
where,
were like totally formidable, but
yeah,
they just that didn't apply to the narrative, that the Romans wanted everybody to have, which is they are all powerful and nobody else counts, basically.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
so they were the original. What? the Hitler and the Nazis, or they, I don't mean it's the same people, but the
Hmm.
same ideal that they were the master race. They were the ultimate like civilization because they came on from
They
the
were the
Greeks.
center of the world, center of the universe, and it
Exactly.
has to do with like power hierarchies. I mean, these people, and that was the
That and that
problem. The problem with Judaism, with the Romans, is they made, like they did in Egypt, they made their emperors gods. I mean, they were not,
yes,
they
yeah,
worshipped them to the point of, and themselves to the point of being gods. And you and I can
yeah.
say, hey, that's really pretty crazy, today. But
Well,
back in the
is
day,
it
that was pretty like normal.
there was a split one there because before the Caesars, they had the Senate and they were elected, and the rule was no one is allowed to be king in Rome. Isn't
Uh,
that right?
Not exactly. No, they had, because they would shift back between, well, popes came later, but I'll tell you something. It was always very rich, aristocratic
Yeah,
families running the show,
yeah,
and
yeah. Like it is now. Still,
like
this
it
is
is
still.
now. I was
It's the
going to say,
it's
hasn't
the
changed.
same. It's the same
Hasn't changed
people.
anything. Yep.
No, it's the same people, and I honestly believe this. And I mean, there's no one in this chat in this hardly in this stream, but I'm hoping that this is surprising the amount of people that do actually watch this and go back and watch after, which I always think. Usually, I'm just prattling about with music or whatever, but this is a really a very important, serious conversation we're having now. So I honestly believe that those families and those people that are they're like the same, and they just each generation
They
it's the
morph.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same original soul, maybe we could say, and that they basically are not of good. I
Yeah.
don't want
Well,
like or demonic.
it's a huge attachment to a very misconstrued idea, which is specialness. We're special. We're like, we've got some goods, or we can determine some goods, or determine
Yeah,
history, or determine how things are, because we're special, and that
yeah,
is just a cover up for like an insecurity that they're not special. Well, guess what? They're not special. They
yeah.
does a bear shit in the woods? Yes. You're
Or
not all that
as
special, but
I
they
made
would make it out to
I
be
made
like
this
they are. What?
I made this joke up because I love I purposely as well because I don't know where I don't know what it was the other day if it was on Yogi's channel or something else. It was
Mhm.
saying basically when I meet people I act stupid on purpose because I just want to see their reaction because they're either like they'll take me for me and they won't make any difference, or they'll look down upon me and they'll think that they're something better than me because they'll think I'm stupid. And then when they come, so I'll purposely fuck things up, so mess things up. So, like when it comes to bingo callers, you could say clickety all the sixes, 23, or something like that on purpose. But I do it because I want to see what people's reactions are because people can be very like judgmental and they
So
can
you're
be
telling me you're a dumb blonde? That's what you're telling me. You
yeah.
take on the role
I
of
am a
being a
dumb
dumb
blonde, yeah.
blonde. Yeah.
A very dumb blonde. I'm the perfect archetype of the dumb blonde. But I do that on purpose. And the other one I say, because they say there's a bear shit in the woods and the Pope's Catholic, so I say there's the Pope shit in the woods. Now,
Yeah.
I made that up years ago, and someone else has apparently said this. No, it isn't. It's not like a hard thing to come up with, just crossing the two over on purpose. And I say that, no, you didn't, no, you didn't, no, you didn't. I'm like, I did. I've no reason to say it. It doesn't make me any better. I
Right.
do not go up in like
Right.
the levels of coolness, but I did.
Exactly.
But this whole barrow thing. So when I started looking into the Joseph of Arimathea thing, I didn't even know why I was interested in it, but I was very much so. I think it's probably because I lived there,
Mhm.
and it's like it's quite a cool thing as far as I'm concerned. Well, it's not really well known at all.
I
Um,
look at
I
all of
started,
that. For me, I look at it all. It fascinates me a lot on the one hand. On the other hand, I look at it as kind of an enormous history of Chinese whispers. Chinese whispers
yeah,
is that game, where they, one person whispers in the ear of another, who whispers in the ear of another. And by the time, 40 down of people,
yeah,
like the original message is like completely contorted, messed up, and like,
yeah,
and and that's how um it's not to knock legends, but it is about how information was communicated, because most people didn't read write back then, so there wasn't
that's right.
wasn't just books and written
Yeah,
words. It was balladeers and singers and poets, and
uh,
a lot
the
of
bard.
chitter chatter gossip, getting the
Yeah,
word out and mixing the legends up, and faulty memory. I mean, we still have that when something happens and you have witnesses to a crime, and they all have different stories about what took place. And so there's just um, a lot of
yeah,
room for human error. Of course, none of this is going to be, an exact science, but
definitely.
it's fun to look at, what happened there, and it's fun to take a premise on all that. Yeah.
Well, there's also a lot of political and money wise with it all because I remember I met this guy called Jeff Stray. He does some videos about the tunnels of Avalon.
Hmm.
And that's another thing. I had this feeling that so where I live, we've got Brentnall, which was called the Mount of Frogs, which is what I call Mount Sion, because so this is the hardest part for me because I'll try and tell five stories in one go because they're all linked. So I'll try and keep to the paradise thing. So I started looking at when I got my Bible come through, I started reading about I read Genesis, and then I want to this William Henry guy with the Sion the thing about Sion and that Yahweh lives on Mount Sion and basically I started one of the other things. So I was sat on a toilet, if you remember what I was saying, and he basically he's an art historian, and he was talking about Renaissance art, and this one picture came up. Right, I will never forget this as long as I live. That the floor. So I go on about squares within squares a lot, and
Hmm.
mosaics and checkerboard stuff,
Hmm.
because purely because of this. In this, it really highlighted it to me that wherever you find these squares, grids, interlocking squares, squares within squares, one of those things on like in churches or it could be
Hmm.
anywhere. It could just be like a brick. I first noticed it because by Paradise there was this brick wall, but it wasn't brick. It was like they're like poured concrete
Hmm.
shapes. So it's
Okay.
like a square. So they're like hollow bricks. So there's a
Hmm.
pattern in it, and it's a square within a square. And I thought, oh, that's pretty fucking weird. And in this picture, I don't know who it was by, but it's a German artist. And
They had them.
in it was a Rene. I don't know who it was, but the floor in this German like mansion, stately home
Hmm.
type place, depicting the Ascension somehow, was my bathroom for vinyl on the floor in my bathroom. It was it. It was like I was like, what the how on earth have I just come across this? I don't know if it was like a special pattern that just got replicated, but for some unknown reason to me, my dad chose that flooring for the bathroom,
You should
and
see
that
the
was the same floor.
tiles on my floor. Hold on, I'll show you. the tiles. This is like the entrance of my apartment, but whoopla. Can you see him?
Oh, not yet. It's just gonna. It's Oh yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. So then, because of that, because of the thing being exactly the same flooring, I was thinking, what the fuck is going on there? And then so I was reading this Bible and I was trying to find out. I'm just reading the story of Genesis, right? The Garden of Eden,
Mhm.
because that's what paradise is, isn't it? They call it. They were kicked out of paradise as a garden, and so in the garden there are certain things that are physical things that are in the garden. So you have the revolving sword of light, right? Which guards the garden. You have the cherubim, which guards the garden. You have the garden is at the foot of Mount Sion where Yahweh presides, and then you have so it's not just in it's not just in the Bible, it's not just in Genesis, because in different parts of the Bible as you go along,
Well, there's different
people.
Genesises too. There's like Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. There's like 4 Adams. It's not just one story there. There's piles of them. Yeah.
Well, there you go,
Because
and then
there's
also
one my favorite is the one where like Adam falls asleep, like a deep sleep fell upon Adam, and he never there's no they never say anything about him waking up, he's still
right.
sleeping, he's still dreaming.
Well, that's the thing as well about this Bible, because what I absolutely love about this Bible is it's a good reference for me because it's the oldest Bible I can get my hands on.
Hmm.
There aren't going to be that many older Bibles that people can literally sit and cross-reference to the latest version of the Bible,
Right.
but wherever it might be, whoever it might be. Because my when I was working in the care home, one of the girl a friend of mine, Kate, she's a Jehovah's Witness, and she was like, I don't know what it is with Jehovah's Witnesses, but they are like uh, hell bent, excuse the pun, on making you a Jehovah's Witness, and
Right.
anything they can get little tiny
Proselytizing.
little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah, yeah. They're into
they will
conversion. Yeah.
grab hold. So she's there going, oh yeah, you're searching for the truth. She goes, and she brought me in a Jehovah's Witness Bible, the J JW.org Bible. And I sat there and I read their version of Revelation. And I haven't really gone on about this a great deal. This is a whole different subject. But I sat there, I read Genesis when I was at work, not Genesis, Revelation, and I was like, I basically decoded Revelation there and then. I sat there reading, I was thinking, oh, I can quite easily see what this whole thing is all about.
Hmm.
Because in Revelation, it was saying about the whore of Babylon, who basically all the people that feed, drink the wine, and have the money, and all this whole thing, the whole Babylon thing, and it was saying that basically all the people in Babylon was the most diverse country with all the nations, all basically working around this Babylonian system, which is basically the British system. Where Britain is Babylon, London is Babylon, actually, the city, and the Queen, God bless her, was who I say she was the whore of Babylon. And that sounds a horrible thing to say, but
No.
if you it, what it's telling you, because everyone keeps going, no, it's New York, it's New York. I'm like, no, it's not. Britain is the most diverse. London, sorry, is the most diverse city in the world, but it has been for a very long time. Not just so much now, where it's even getting more pushed. People getting pushed in, and the whole system, the money. There you go, bit my tongue. They didn't want me to tell you this. The monetary system, so the stock exchange, was the first proper modern stock exchange is in London. The London Times Stock Exchange, I think it's called. I can't remember. But so basically, the the monetary system of London. So you've got the tri is another tri thing. Rome being the spiritual, London being the financial, and America or New York or Washington being the military.
Okay, well, I have
Those
news
three
for
things.
you with Rome, which is that Rome, historically and right up to today, has never, despite the Pope and despite the Vatican, it has never been a spiritual center, not in any sort of worshipful way. It's very, very
No, not
interesting because you can, you can go to Ireland and see the Archbishop of Ireland's house, and the Archbishop of Ireland lives in a house which is like very similar to the Vice President's house in New York. But in places that are smaller or places that are more remote, um, or more close to nature, where they, like in the mountains, they
mm,
tend to um, have a more, what is the word, venerable,
they're
no,
more in
they
sync
really
with
believe
nature.
spiritual, I would say spiritually centered, like they're actually,
I agree.
paying attention to
Yeah,
things. Whereas in Rome,
yeah,
Rome has always been about the politic of it all. Who's got the authority, who's boss, who's got power, what do we do with this? It has never been a
no,
spiritually based
n-
approach. Not here.
no, I agree with you, but the reason why I said that is because we're told that it's like the spiritual place, but it's the least spiritual place of all. Because
Mm.
what they do there is that they try and force it on you, whereas you should just be able to like feel it. Like you say, living in the country, like me, I can go to the woods now and I'll feel the trees, I'll hug the trees, I'll hear the ravens, I'll hear the herons. You know, these
Well,
like majestic
yeah,
birds
it's
where
also like a
there's not,
dominance thing. We had a
yeah.
lot of goddess worship here, and we had, a lot of the leftovers of the Greek mystery schools,
Mm.
and they now have gone back and done uh, ar- archaeobiological research, like basically tested the substances that are in the bottom of these jugs and vases, and it's like hidden away temples that were outlawed by the Romans, God knows when.
Yeah,
And they're like full of like psychotropics, like full of drugs. Like they were like stoned to the moon, and they were
mm.
also like the first like drug dealers basically, but it was all, sex and drugs and rock and roll. And the
Drugs and rock and
problem
roll.
the
Yeah,
problem was that that did not allow for emperors and popes to have good armies, because if the young men are, going and like having a good time, getting
yeah,
their brains melted on drugs and sex and music and fun, they don't make very
yeah.
good soldiers. Those aren't,
No, no.
because they just don't give a shit anymore. They really don't care about all that. Yeah, it
Well,
changes.
I'll
So
tell you
they
what.
had to knock out these places. They had to um abolish
Yeah,
them
we
abolish
basically
them because it
rein
was
it in.
taking away from their source of fodder, basically, for conquering.
Yeah,
Their
which is
military
basically
force. It's a military
that aligns
economy.
with
What?
yeah. So
Yeah.
so that basically aligns with what I was saying about New York or
Yeah.
Washington, the military industrial complex. It's the
Sure.
same thing, but just modern, not back then. But it's the same thing on the macro level to a micro level to a macro level, which I believe all these things, all when you look at it like that, it's the same with all this stuff because we have this schism is what it's called, the Council of Nicaea, where
Yeah, I
basically
know it.
they
I know it
decided
well. Pope
to,
Gregory.
to there you go. So we had our own church in Britain, the
Hmm.
Celtic Church, or they call it the
Right.
Celtic Church now. I don't know what it would have been. Actually, I'd love to know what the actual name of it would have been. Maybe it was just a British church. I don't know. But they had that. So basically, um, Saint Augustine was the envoy supposed to like turn the British to Christians, but we were already Christian. We already had our Celtic church,
Hmm.
and so and actually the Celtic church is much older than the Catholic
Hmm.
Church, because the first
Strangely
church.
enough, it also saved the Catholic Church. Like, not it, and it was a very back in a very backwards way. I think I told you the story about Saint Patrick in Ireland.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
where they buried the
So,
books. You know, they
so
saved
Saint
the
Patrick.
books. They buried the
Yeah,
books because they then the church was fighting the Visigoths, the Vikings,
yeah, yeah.
and they were on a big book burning binge. They were just like
That's
burning
right.
everything, burn Socrates, burn Plato, burn the Old Testament, burn everything, because they didn't want, again, same as the Isis temples, they didn't want anything conflicting. They wanted to consolidate their power and for them to be the only power, and every other kind of power was considered a threat. So off with it. Yeah.
Exactly, because this is a really important point. They say that the Romans never conquered Ireland. Well, not in a war,
They
but as
infiltrated
a
it different, right?
very much, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
It's a
And that's the other
wonderful,
thing that
wonderful
they
book.
say.
If you ever happen to find a copy of it at the library or something, How the Irish Saved Civilization is the name of the book, and it's by a guy named Thomas Cahill. And he's
Cahill, yeah,
Cahill. He spends 6 months of his time.
Cahill,
Cahil.
yeah,
Two
Cahill,
L's.
yeah.
Cahill.
I know some people where I'm from called Cahill.
Yeah,
Um,
Thomas Cahill. He's from New York, and he spends 6 months of his time in New York, 6 months of his time in Rome, and he wrote a book about uh, uh, that story, the conversion of Patrick and Patrick's group of Celtic brothers, and the people, they were illustrators. That's what they were known for, was at the time, this is pre-printing press, of course. So their big
yeah,
job in life was copying, copying, copying everything. And
yeah.
they were told to destroy the books, and they disobeyed the church, and they buried
Ah,
the books. They buried the books
ah.
instead of, because they thought they were amazing and interesting, like, wow, can you imagine, being a
When,
Celt in Podunk, West Ireland, and then you get to read Plato's or Aristotle for the first time, or find out about Pythagoras, and your brain's exploding. You live in this remote place, and then you get this, like, really, like, crazy psycho power info, and then you have these church people are saying, burn this shit, get rid of it, and they're like, no, this is like good stuff.
mm,
And they buried it
yeah.
all along the coastlines, all along, and it wasn't uncovered for hundreds of years, and that's how these texts survived into today. If it hadn't been for them, wouldn't have happened.
There you go. And also, that's the same to do, I think, is St. Columba in Iona. They had this
Hmm.
similar, these are similar people. They were like amazing artists, but they also put the word through, so the pictures and the words together. But yeah, it is a fascinating thing. The whole thing is like, because Saint Patrick is actually from Somerset, apparently. Same as Saint Bridget. They say Saint Bridget was Irish, but they were apparently,
Hmm.
and it all interlinks, but the timelines are a little bit, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
So they
But
used to they used to basically take slaves from England
hmm.
to Ireland, and Patrick was an English slave, and he actually came from Somerset, and weirdly from a place so
Hmm.
called, whether it's 100% true, we can never really tell, but called Banwell, where my friend's got his woods, and
Hmm.
it's on the old hill fort and everything. And he was actually from Somerset. He went to Ireland, he came back, then he went back again as an envoy, and the whole thing about him expelling the serpents or the snakes is the druid belief that they were known as the serpents, or the nagas. Actually, it's quite an interesting one I've heard. The nagas, which are the serpents, these were the druids and the druid order. Um, but such an old such an old place. The druids, they didn't build none of the stone stuff. They were much, much, much later than the stone, the megalithic culture.
Right.
It all gets put in together. So the druids may have used these temples, whatever they were.
Absorb stuff,
Look
right.
there, yeah. So it's
I
so
just love,
fascinating.
I love for me, the moral of that story is that, the beauty of people kind of listening to their inner voice instead of
Yeah.
just like buying the narrative, just taking drinking the Kool-Aid, like, give it some critical thought, and if you find beauty in this and if you find value in it, and you suspect that maybe your boss is a prick, follow your intuition.
Exactly. And that
Yeah.
that that is me encapsulated. The whole thing is all this comes from that one thing my dad said to me about a barrow was a burial
Mhm.
mound, and I was happy, and I've always thought barrows just like barrow. And then while I was on this journey, I found a map from 1575, and there it was. Barrow was Barrow, Barrowe, and it was I was talking to this woman called Maria Wheatley, who's like a world renowned historian, famous. Although I have got my doubts about certain things that she has to say, because she started telling me off, literally told me off. I had a Zoom call session with her because I was going to go on a dowsing
Well,
course.
people do. The
Oh,
guy,
my ears ringing!
people
My ears
do,
ringing!
and that's another point. That kind of reestablishes the point. The professor, I think he was at Harvard. Actually, he was a Harvard professor. So again, this very erudite academic, hardcore Harvard professor, and they all pissed on him. He was like, the Romans, the emperors, the Romans, they were all high as kites. They were all stoned out of their brains, high on drugs. And like every academic institution in the world, including the church, they were all just like, what are you saying? Where did you get this information from? They're like, no way, there's no evidence of them. 20 years later, the science develops and changes, and they go and test the thing, and this guy is like, he was like totally on it. He was just ahead of his time,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the problem is, look, I say, hey, Chief, I'm glad Chief's here now because this whole conversation is pretty much happened because of the Chief, the big Chief. Um, so Chief, have you managed to see my post and my short I've done on your on our TriArt?
Cheap
Yeah,
Peacock
TriArt,
969.
Chief Peacock.
Hello.
Have you have
Hello,
you
Cheap
have you
Peacock.
have you seen Chief in
Yeah.
Yogi's
No, he's in here now. They're in there here now. Right now.
Chief? Yeah, no, but what I mean is, have you seen Chief when you've been in Yogi's things?
Just yeah, just once the other day. Yeah. Was it Monday or Sunday? Yeah.
Chief is like literally. I don't know. I can't
We're talking
say.
about you, Chief, in your face.
I can't say. Uh, I can't
Speak
say. I
well
can't.
enough.
I cannot put into words the height or the level I hold the Chief in. He is literally he is way above all that for me. Is like he he he
On the
his love
philarchy.
and support.
On the philarchy. He's
He,
high up. He's a high up in the philarchy.
he is in the pantheon. In the pantheon. Um. Yeah. So like all this stuff is all fucking because like Chief appreciates the stuff I say. I, so this holy trinity thing of me, Chief, and Squirrel. I'm like, I feel like because shame Squirrel's not here now, but me and Squirrel and oh my goodness
Chipmunk,
me,
please
ooh,
call him Chipmunk.
chipmunk, chipmunk.
Do you know why
So
I'll tell you, I'll explain why I call him Chipmunk. I call him Chipmunk
go on,
because I like to use the icon, like Chief just put in these green hearts and this laughing smile, but there's a place where you can like put it write in a word instruction for an emoticon or whatever. And if I write in squirrel, nothing comes up. But if I write in
right?
chipmunk, I get the symbol. And that's where I decided for chipmunk instead of squirrel.
Oh,
It was for the
well, there we
icon.
go. But
It was the
the
coughing up of the icon.
so me and Squirrel, I met Squirrel on a guy called London McLovin. He's got a great channel. He's a really cool dude, and I like him a lot. But I stepped away from his channel because there's some people me if I because I think I must have gone on joined it live, so I was talking, and he said, "Have I heard of a guy called Tim Refat who is like he's an English guy who is I mean the stuff he comes out with now is a little bit gonna for me, but his original stuff, which I started getting into, he's done this really full on magic school, which like all the stuff he breaks it right down to a lot of it supposedly is, and and I was like, yes, I have actually, and then me and Squirrel started talking in depth and a lot because of this Tim Tony Stark refat is it
Hmm.
that's his like name, Tony Stark, like Iron Man. And the weird thing is, I realised after I made that thing I said about calling it TriArt, as because I want people to try art. Um, he talks about something, and maybe I subconsciously come up with it. He talks about something called the triangle of art, which
Mm.
is like, and it talks about the clipothic realm, which is like I I don't really know, and I can't really put it into words about what it all is, but it's something worth looking into. This clipothic realm, the squirrel will tell you better than me, but this triangle of art is like how it's all done within all the magic and everything else is done within this triangle of art within this clipothic realm, which I still don't really 100% understand, but because of Chief being 11/17/77 which becomes the 888 and then me uh, making this tri art of the 3 8s because he's got a T-shirt with a pool ball and with an 8 in it. You know the black pool ball with the 8 in the middle, and then 2 8s. And then me and Chief have connected because of a woman, because of this one, because of Mary Moses, who
Yeah, the Shekinah.
the
Yeah.
Shekinah. You know, I I I'd already sprayed the background, and then when I was at Sam's the last day I saw Xena, I made the white face, but I hadn't done nothing with it. When I was prattling about, so I want to make the Queen of Wands card, and then on my Posca paint pens, um, I decided I wanted to make the Queen of Wands redhead, you know, like Celtic, but
All right.
I didn't realise the colour of the paint. Yes, 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 the colour of the paint, and when I it basically that is Mary Moses, her hair and the lips as well. Usually when I do lips on people on thing, they're red, but I chose to do it in this pink.
It's
And in
fabulous.
the thing,
Pink is
she's got
fabulous.
she's got the pink lipstick, and her hair is literally in it, Chief. Her hair is literally dyed that color. So it's like all these things they all connect
Yes.
and it is it's beyond for me now my own self-belief in this whole thing, especially because of the grandma, my strength card being my grandma, and then the actual Rider Waite Tarot strength cards literally is my grandma.
Mhm.
He somehow made it my grandma, and I don't understand.
So these cards are not tarot cards. They are the for the Sephiroth being emanations. So you have 10 of them, 10 emanations. You have the crown, you have Chokhmah, which is wisdom, Bina, which is like understanding. These are what these emanations are associated with. They're associated with the crown, with wisdom, with understanding, with love, compassion, discipline, strength, balance, harmony, beauty, eternity, perseverance.
So,
Um,
sorry, can I just stop? So let me stop you 1 second there, Miss Blipper.
mhm,
This is an interesting thing. There, Dr. Brandano de Petrio, he is telling this guy a map. Well, I've already got that map. I've already done all this work over the last few years. The with the Fountain of Youth, because where I live in Somerset is a
mhm,
place called Paradise, and apparently this guy um, a journalist did a piece on Paradise, and he tells us that the finest watering hole in the whole land is at Burnham and Paradise. And first of all, when he said watering hole, I thought he meant a pub, because that's a nickname for a pub,
sure.
but it isn't. We have a spring in Paradise which they've fucking got rid of. No one.
Yeah, no, and
There's
that's
a
just getting
fountain there.
worse. I was listening to a congresswoman this morning in America from New York, Ocasio Cortez, and she was asking the people who are head of the controlling the health of the water in the U.S. about these like data centers that they're building, and like not
Yeah,
only do they like use up a shit ton of water, but they destroy the water that is like or anywhere near them. It's just like it comes out of the tap and it's just like brown, gross. Like nobody would drink that shit, you know. And she was questioning about them. So yeah, water is the
well,
number
It's
best
interesting that you should say
source.
that because in England they're built so. Oh, this is all connected, right? None of you listen. None of us listen. No, well, we're not listening. Well, we're not listening about Doctor. Sorry. Um.
You
I
listen
understand.
to Dr.
Yeah.
Brandano de
Yeah.
Petrolio.
I understand. Because I've done all this work. I've created my own map, literally. Not only just a map of where I live. I've, and I can prove this. I will prove this. But if you overlay Somerset map, which I can do because I've got it on my bedroom wall, if you overlay Somerset map with the Holy Land, the Levant, right? It literally is a carbon copy. You can overlay it on the micro to the macro, and all the places they all link up with, not perfectly, but within a very close margin of it all. You know,
Hmm.
so okay, we'll go away then, Doctor Brandano. You don't have to be here. I don't know how I can listen because you're writing. Writing isn't listen. I don't listen from reading.
Uh-oh.
Anyway,
I
if
mean,
you
we're
like it, go
failing
away.
people's expectations for how many times have we failed people's expectations? I don't know,
So,
30
hey,
million.
we
I
go
don't
back to
know.
what? Sorry, can we go back to your
Map.
cards?
This is a map. The cards are a map of the soul. Yeah, map of the soul. And so you tell me when you want me to stop. Uh-oh.
Oh, you still there? Well done, Chief. Thank you. Although would like to
Yeah, I mean
run
just
down over
be kind.
Petrol, but he's only been timed up. So that's all right. Yeah, let's see these cards, please, Miss
All
Blipper.
right. Tell me when you want me to stop, okay? Because I'm just going to run right
Oh,
through them.
your sound's gone.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
No, not very well. Press the microphone thing and turn it on and off.
Okay.
Hello,
Better?
JP.
Hello,
No,
hello. Testing 1, 2, 3.
I can.
Am I here? Can
If
you hear
you
me?
press them,
I did press it. Hold on. I'll turn my sound on and off. See if that helps.
they can hear you, but I can't. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. So basically, because we are literally right this moment in time, literally putting truths out there. Dr. Brandano de Petriero is obviously a troll sent in to disrupt this, and then because of that, now I can't hear you. So what I'm going to do is stay there. I'm going to reboot this quickly. You still be there. Everyone will still be there, but it's just gonna do the circle thing,
All
and it's
right.
going to
Just
reconnect so I can hear you properly.
JP73 says he can hear both of us. Or she. I don't know if it's he or she, but they can
Yeah,
hear
but I
both of
can't
us.
hear you hardly. Like it's very faint, like this. Right, stay there.
Famalam. I'm gonna open my door.
There we go. That's probably
Are you
right now.
back? I'm back.
That's better. That's better. But isn't it funny that when we start getting onto the literal like nitty gritty of all this stuff, they send in the bots, Doctor Bloody whoever, Doctor Robotnik.
I have an echo. Why do I have an echo? Should I get my headphones?
Yeah, you can do if you want.
For the echo.
Oh yeah, it might be. Yeah, I don't know because you've usually got really good internet signal, haven't you?
No, just when the sound came back, I hear an echo.
Yeah, get your
headphones.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? How like because it's the same as when I mentioned that person's name earlier on, saying that they told me off. Because I said to her that I felt like Wembley, Ley, is like the cathedral of football, is like on a ley line, and Hinkley Point, which is by me, which is a nuclear power station, is on the ley line. And I said anywhere called ley is like I felt like it's a power center for the ley lines. And she was like, "No, don't be so stupid. There's ley lines all over the world. They're not all called ley." But in my defence, it got the guy who the original the godfather of ley lines, Alfred Watkins, who wrote the Old Straight Track. And I didn't know this, but he says it in the thing. Anywhere called ley, the word of the ley in England anyway, is a node, a ley centre where they cross over. But she must have known that, but she poo-pooed me so much that I almost was like, oh. But she did tell me that anywhere called Barrow has got, because I was like, I don't know where this Barrow is. She goes, if it's called Barrow, I'll promise you now, there's more than one, quite a few probably, because it's called Barrow. Like we got Bath, as I was explaining to Chief, because of the Roman baths. By me as well, you have, so the diocese is called the Bishop of Bath and Wells. Weirdly, that you got Bath because of the baths and Wells because of the well springs. And there's got to be something to do with that as well, with the waters. Because what that guy's saying about these data centers, where I live, we've got Hinkley Point, which is a nuclear power reactor, which I don't believe I don't believe it generates electricity, because apparently they shut down Hinkley Point B 2 years ago. Well, so if it's shut down, where's the electricity coming from?
Don't know.
Yeah, it's beggars belief. And now they're building this thing called Gravity, which is a giga factory where they're going to be building all the batteries for these electric cars. And then you're going to be getting a Leyland, JP, one that is. then they're going to be building this massive data center right by the gigafactory, which again will be polluting. Is the most beautiful. It is the most purest water. And the other thing, which is I think this is a really important thing. When I was working in the care home, we had to have a Zoom call, got people working with a lady who is a dentist for the NHS, and she said that she was Somerset is the only county in England that hasn't been fluoridated with the water, and she's like, that's terrible. And I was there going, yes, and I believe the reason for that is because there's a lot, like I said, about in the Mendips you have all this lead. I believe there's probably a high lead content in the water, and I reckon that it makes perfect sense to me that the lead and the fluoride, because fluoride's a metal, I reckon it would cause a chemical reaction. So they can't have a fluoride pumped into the water because it will, something will happen, which they don't want anyone to know about. So that's just how my brain works. I might be wrong.
My earphones aren't doing anything to the echo.
You still got an echo.
I don't know.
So that's since I've come. Is that since I've come back?
Say something. Yeah, it's a delay. Okay. Because if you notice, I speak, then I close my mouth, and then you hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a weird delay. I mean, it might be because I got crap signal where I am, but in all honesty,
I'll show you pictures.
It's the best thing so far.
Tell me when to stop. All right, you just say stop, and I stop.
Yes, I do this myself, so I know what you're doing. Go on. Oh, look at that one. Wow. Keep going. That one.
The one I just did?
Yeah, the triangle in the middle.
Mm.
That's a macabre, isn't it?
This is TriArt. TriArt would be the six-pointed star in the middle.
Right, yeah.
In a nine-pointed star.
Ooh.
So the six-pointed star is TriArt. And TriArt is like the balance of mind. And
Right.
that is within the balance of emotion.
Ah, now there you go. This is a beautiful lesson, because I was told by David, the psychic, that my mind, my brain, and my heart was a cross wire, and that I was too emotional. I mean, like, you see how fucking emotional I am at the moment. I've been, but is to try and align my heart and my head, and that way I will.
Right.
You know.
They're both separate on the middle on the middle pillar, on the middle column. So they both have balance.
Right.
And that's what that card represents.
But that's like amazing, that one. It's like how. So when you draw all these, because I'm like, obviously, was this whole one of the main thing about this trying art. Like, I tell everyone I couldn't do art. I was resigned to the fact. Oh yeah, 9-point Tesseract. Oh, nice one. I couldn't do art. I was like, nah, I can't do it. Not no point in me trying. Well, I can do it. I mean, look at this, Mary Moses. I mean, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think that's like really cool. She hasn't seen it yet. I hope she will see it soon. But anyone can do art, but it's given the time and the patience and the practice, because, like, like I say, I couldn't draw a stick man walking a stick dog, or as my friend will say, like I couldn't draw a stick dog having a stick. You know what? But I
Somebody
had to
just
go.
just commented here. It's a bit like a nine-pointed tesseract, and there's three-dimensional shape of when you take a pyramid, a three-sided pyramid. So it actually has
Oh,
the triangle on the bottom and then three other triangles, and
yeah,
it's pointing up,
yes,
and then the other
yeah.
one points down. No,
It
and
becomes a
that's got 8
Maltese cross.
sides, not 9.
Right. It becomes a Maltese cross. The pyramid is a Maltese cross because pyramids, although they've got 4 faces, they've actually got 8 because down each face of the pyramid were double 2 faces. So although it's 4, it's actually 8. And then if you break down the Maltese cross, it becomes a pyramid.
Yeah,
Or the
only that these would have a triangle at the bottom, not a square.
right, okay.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
so they
interesting.
kind of blend, and then it comes into this like 8-sided thing.
But how did you are they all freehand?
Yes.
Because I know people. So for me, I'm a long way off being able to do that sort of thing by freehand. Because I haven't, although I'm not too bad at it, I'm getting better. Still, the technique or the smoothness, I'm a little bit off, quite a long way off of that at the moment. But still,
Yeah, I'm
if
not
you
known
can,
for my technique.
no, but they're all
It's the
perfect,
thought
aren't they?
that went into them.
I
Nobody
love
has a
these hands.
set of cards like this. I'm
Sorry?
continuing. This whole thing with these cards, I'm the only person who has these cards. Single deck in the universe. Here's the main card of the 6. No, this isn't. I'm sorry. This is 5. This is a 6 Tiferet in Gevura. A 6-sided star within a 5 star.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is Gevura in Tiferet, and I'm not going to narrate. Now I'm just going to go.
You know what that's like as well, right? So I was just about to say to you, when you said about the triangle of the pyramid being a triangle base, well, I was about to say to you, in England and also all across America, you've got these conical mounds, and I was there thinking, well, how does a conical pyramid, step pyramid, but a cone? I was just there thinking, I wonder how that works out with the conical pyramid. And then you showed that one then where it was so it was the 6-point star breaking down to the 5-point star, but it's almost like there's layers of that because the middle one, then it gets bigger, then it gets bigger, when it goes out. Looking down from above, down on these pyramids, they're like layers of circles.
And in fact, you have to, like Aboriginal art, you have to look from above. It's like
Yeah.
if you look at an egg from the side, it looks like an oval, like an orbit. No, but if you look at it from the top, it looks like a sphere, like a circle.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Is like I went to, so we got in England, you got these white horses in Wiltshire mostly, and they have them in Oxfordshire as well. And I went to this one called Uffington White Horse, which is absolutely, it's an icon. It doesn't even look like a horse. It looks more like a dragon. But Ashray Dean is one of the people I listen to intensely, and also Commons Beaumont, who's the guy who's basically near enough everything I've said or I'm saying, he said in the 30s. Yeah, I have no idea. I did not know any of what he's written, but what I've said, he said. They both say that the white horses are markers for things from above, right? And I proved, I went to Uffington White Horse, it's massive, and you can't see it at all unless you're at least up on the top of the hill, because it's on the top of the hill. But even when you're stood in the middle of it, you can't see it.
You can't
You
tell.
have to, because it's so big. So you have to be able to be up above, looking down on it, for it to be any point of it whatsoever. So is that they're denoting to us with what you're saying there? Is it literally saying that there has been air travel, like flight, air travel, whatever? Because what would be the point of making something that no one
That
can see
nobody
anyway?
could see. Exactly. Yeah. So we've got a request here from Just JP73, and it says, "How many are in that deck?"
How many are in that deck?
59.
59.
And could you maybe count out 21 and see which we land on? Of course I could. I'd be happy to. But you want me to do it with a full deck or the remaining deck that we haven't looked at? Yeah.
Hey, Chief, mate, love you, brother.
Ask him if he wants full deck or remaining deck.
Do you want the full deck breakdown of anyone, or what's left over from what's already been pulled? Hey, Chief, I'm going to get StreamYard at some point over this weekend again, and then I'll make sure that all of us can be as a like a round table, because a Squirrel and maybe Yogi.
We're gonna
JP,
call it Big Chief's Wigwam.
Yes, a powwow.
Yeah.
Well, powwow, a big wigwam.
Powwow in the
like
wigwam with Big Chief.
Yeah, I like it. Because there's so much knowledge between us, you know.
All right.
I mean, yours has been hard learned. Mine, most of mine is I've just come up with it. Most of the stuff I say, I've just come out with.
Whichever feels right to you. I'm going to go with the remaining deck.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. And I'll show you the cards as I count them. 1, 2, 3,
I like that one.
4, 5, 6.
Is that an icosahedron?
Don't forget that was 6. This is Chesed in Devora. This is the square inside of stars. It's 4 sides within 5 sides.
A square within a pentagon, did you say?
Yes, a star.
Oh, see, this is why stuff like this, me and my squares within squares thing, goes next level, because you've got square within circle within a pentagon within a star within a circle again.
All right, so this was number 6.
6.
7.
Yep.
8. 9. 10.
Oh yeah, wow. I like that one. That one almost looks like it's spinning, the outside bit's turning while the middle one's still. So it looks like you've got the centerpiece, and then on the outside you've gone.
But now I've lost count. I'm gonna start again.
12.
This is net deck within net deck. So you're absolutely correct in that 7-pointed stars don't stop. So they just keep going around and around and around and around. And this is the eternity of eternity. So, or the current instant without any past or future.
Right, so that JP said that was 10.
Okay, thank you.
But that's my favorite one so far.
Okay, net deck within net deck.
Okay,
11. 12.
Well, you've frozen. I can hear you. Oh yeah. Oh.
14.
All right, I like that one.
15.
Oh, hang on.
16.
16.
Oh, that's hard to see that one.
17. 18.
18.
Excuse me.
19.
19.
Oh, yeah,
20.
that one.
20.
And I need a drum roll,
And
Phil.
Drum roll, Phil.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
21.
21.
Well, you've frozen the. Here we go. Oh, wow, look at that one.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
So this
That's fucking
is
awesome.
So this is
the attribute
the attribute
of the Yesod,
of the
which is
Yesod,
the nine-pointed star in the middle.
Right.
Yesod,
So it's the attribute of the God.
Yesod is connection.
is connection.
It's also the foundation.
It's also the foundation
between the spiritual and material world.
Right.
It is
okay.
also the
It
balance.
is also the balance
between eternity and particularity. Okay.
Right.
So
Okay.
that
is
connection
connection
and foundation.
Again?
Foundation.
Right.
Within particularity.
So it's like it's randomness and exactness at the same time.
What's random?
Well, you said that, like the eternity is constantly going, it's constantly spinning, it's never ending. But then it's also the
one on the right pillar and one on the left pillar.
Yeah,
at
so
this level.
you got Boaz and Benar and Joaz. Is that right?
Those are the two columns.
Yeah, so the high priestess on the tarot card, she sits between
Boaz, yes,
and
walking.
Is it?
walking.
But I thought
those are the
Benar.
columns. Those are the columns at the front of the Temple of Solomon.
Right. Now, here's an interesting fact for you, right? So I said earlier on, me and Squirrel connected through this guy called Tony Stark Refat, right? Now, Tony Stark Refat, this is why I like him, because I wouldn't have known about this, and nor would a Squirrel if it weren't for him. But he explains to us that the guy who was the original, there's two people on the Rider Waite tarot deck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the Rider is, but the Waite is Arthur Edward Waite.
Yeah, he was a big mystic and a Kabbalist as well.
Yeah, he wrote a book called The Holy Kabbalah, I think. Mm-hmm. And he explains that they actually booby traps the two pillars. So they're inverted. So what most people that practice the Kabbalah and that actually don't do it right. And that's why they end up with like chaos going on around them. Because what they're doing is
Squirrel, who I call chipmunk, he would believe that too.
That's because both of us are like students of Tony Stark, as it were, and he's a student of Arthur Edward Waite, and he explained that Arthur Edward Waite. And there's another guy, I think it's something Ledbetter. I can't remember the Ledbetter.
Yeah, Charles Ledbetter.
But he was a devout Christian. He was a devout Christian, Arthur Edward Waite, and he simply could not lie. He would not lie.
He was also a child molester.
He was what?
A child molester.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
It always seems to be like this. I hate it. Why is that? What? Made my fucking stomach turn because oh dearie me.
Well, it's hard. It's especially hard when it's done like in the church. It's like done as some sort of
yeah. the cover for it.
Spiritualizing their weird fetish or whatever.
It's so fucked up, and do you know what? That's an important thing. So basically, in England at the moment, the whole of Europe, we're being like fucking colonized and invaded, shall we say? Now, I don't want to get too political about all this, but it's my honest belief that the real reason why that, like, you know, the Labour Party in England, but the Conservatives done it as well. They are hardcore pushing all these people coming in, the more and more and more and more and more, it's because the whole point of it all is so that they get rid of the legal age of
consent.
Consent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because those people don't have one. They're married to like 3 or 4 year olds, or I'm not saying that they do anything with those 3 or 4 year olds per se, but that's the best way for them to be able to get rid of it, because that's been their goal for forever. And basically, good, honest, decent people won't have it. And the more people that come in that don't hold that as an important thing, then they're able to literally get rid of that, and then they can free will do whatever the hell they want, and that's the whole demonic part of it all. But you know, that's just my humble opinion. I might be wrong about that, but it certainly makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just think of it as opportunism. You know, it's like the people with power preying on the people who don't have power. And the children, they don't really have a voice. They're not, completely protectable. It's the same old bullshit story.
Yeah, same shit, different day. Same as what the Romans were doing. Same as what whoever before that were doing. It's just demonic. It's just demonic part. So all these, like I said, that each generation that seems to comes through into the next lot, comes through into the next lot, and that is the ultimate battle between good and evil. It's like the good angels taking on the bad angels, as it might be. But it literally keeps on going over time.
But it's also a reflection. It lets us look, at the world, which lets us look at ourselves and go, I don't want this, I don't want that. Yes, no, sifting through the muck. Yeah. No, it's really bad in America right now too.
It's but yeah, it's and it is quite worrying, really. I saw this. Well, I didn't want to dwell on that too much, and my ear is itching like mad now. So somebody didn't like the fact I just said all that anyway. But I want to go back to these cards because I was saying to Yogi, Yogi was saying to me as well that he wants, because it's been this like backdrop of having a spiritual business. Now, I don't know. I'm still trying to work out what my spiritual business would be. How I can use what my skills and gifts and turn that into a business. Well, one will be when I finally finish my great work of the tarot cards. Now, it is really hard because there's obviously, I think it's 78 cards, and I've done 22 plus I've done about 26, about 30. So I've got another 48 to do, and they're not easy things to just. Well, I say they're not easy to pop up, but I did this in a day, and I think I've done it the same day as I've done the one for Chief. So there's me saying, there's me saying, there's me saying it's not really possible. Well, it is possible, but it is having the being in the right headspace to be able to just
Tell me about it.
It is a very hard thing, and that's why I'm quite pleased about this whole TriArt thing, because I do believe that everyone has art within them, and also it's a great way to combat loneliness, depression, and lots of other things. Because
it's also art is a way of looking at life. No, you can say
No,
that
you can say
our
that
life is art.
life is art.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
But like for me, when I was looking after my dad, and I was there, and it was fucking horrible, and I was all the time, and I was just like, just had enough of life, and being able to sit down, because I couldn't do art, I had to really fully be in the moment and immerse myself in it because like this one, this is the first one I ever done. This is the first one I ever done, right? Yeah.
Guess
But
what? We've got a
Guess what?
special guest.
Guest.
Tiger King's in here. Hello, Tiger
hello,
King.
Hello,
here's
Love.
Tiger King. Hello, passengers. So that one there, I must have redone that face about 50 times until I was happy with it. And I am quite pleased with that, to be fair. But that was the first one I ever done.
Like
So,
it.
but I had to sit there and literally, you know, go over and over, and I'd have to leave it for a bit and go back, and leave it for a bit and go back. But that concentration and everything else that went into it made me not think about all the crap, like my dad and how bad it was. I was able to escape, and I think that is why the TriArt or whatever it is that I've created or we've
I love
created,
that.
or
I love
you know,
that.
Great name.
there's a conglomeration of it.
Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to go back to work. And somebody says wisely, that's a crazy
Honestly, that's a
echo.
crazy echo.
It is
Yeah.
Pathfinders,
It is
and we tried to get rid of it, but it didn't work. We
but it
tried
didn't work. We
headphones,
tried
turning things on and
turning
off,
things
and
on and off, and
didn't work.
Do you know what,
didn't work.
Miss Blipper? Do you know what the time in England now is? I don't know if it's the same time in Italy where
No,
I've got
1 hour
board.
different.
No, 1 hour different.
It's 1440. It's 144.
1540 then
15.
here.
But
340.
we've ended on the magic number of 144. So
Good.
namaste.
Blessing.
Blessing.
Thank
Bye,
you very much,
everybody.
Miss
Bye,
Blipper.
Nice to
everybody.
see you. Thanks for
Nice to
having me.
see you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Thank you very much
Bye.
for joining me. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, there you go, boys and girls. That was an education for you and for me. That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Miss Blipper is literally a wealth of knowledge. She's got so much knowledge. It is very nice to be talking to her properly. So there you go. I think I'm gonna have to get something to eat because I'm hungry, and I could do a cup of tea. Excuse me. So I'm going to say goodbye and thank you all for joining. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for your time. Luckily, that one has got no copyright strike at all. So people might go back and listen to it. It'd be nice if they did. Anyway, ciao for now.